True Blood, Season 7, Episode 7. Too many sevens, if you ask me. But this was entitled, May Be the Last Time. Let's start with where the episode started. Eric was interrogating Sarah Newland, or you know what, I should just start calling her Numi. Because I still find that name funny. And to her sister's credit, she wasn't budging. She wasn't gonna give her sister up, her whereabouts, where she was. Because in her mind, her sister saved her, gave her the cure, and she doesn't have Hep B anymore. So I was like, wow, I was impressed. But of course, Eric gets insanely impatient. He even freaks out and sees her as Sarah Newland, so he stakes her and kills her. And my reaction was just about the same as Pam, who had a look on her face like, what the fuck, Eric? You just killed the one person who had the information that would have saved your life. Great job. Speaking of people needing their lives saved, Bill is getting increasingly worse. I mean, it's just, not only is it all over his body, but you even see it start to creep up on his neck. And I feel for Bill, especially because at least Eric has had the amount of time he's had to deal with it. And he is kind of being proactive right now, trying to stop it, where Bill doesn't get that luxury. He is going so rapidly, and he doesn't even know where to begin for looking for a cure. I feel bad for him. I liked that Sookie, I mean, I guess she did this more so for feeling guilty, but I like that she was trying to do whatever she could to save him. First, she called that doctor from Season 2, and I think she's showed up before. But this lady is so funny because she's so comical, and she so has that attitude of, like, nothing scares me. I know everything in the world. She couldn't help Bill. But then she got a little freaked out when Sookie mentioned her great times 1,000 grandfather, Niall. She got completely freaked out by him. And then Sookie tried to get Niall to save Bill. And I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to, because I can never fully understand the powers of the Fae and exactly what they can do. I like seeing Rutger Hauer in the episode back. A little creepy when he said that he's always watching. Like, huh. So, were you watching Sookie by the end of this episode? I hope not. But the moment where he basically comes clean to Sookie and says, look, I'm not going to be able to help Bill. It's not going to happen. I did find it interesting that throughout the whole episode we got flashbacks of Bill meeting his wife, Caroline. I liked finding out how it was all this arrangement between their parents, and at first he was apprehensive about meeting her, and then when he met her, he instantly fell in love. That's interesting. I've seen some people from past episodes talking about how they don't really care for Bill or seeing Bill in these flashbacks because it's the last season. They just want to get more to the main stuff. I feel quite the opposite. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, this is the last season. I like to get more backstory stuff, flashback stuff, and the way how much you could tell that Bill loved his wife, seeing more behind that and what went into that, I love it. I'm completely for it. Now, we see that Violet brings Adeline and whatever Holly's son's name is. She brings them to her home, and at first I didn't think it was her home because it looked too lavish, it looked too big, and I'm like, there's no way Violet lives here. Until she showed them that sex room with all of those toys and apparatuses, and I just thought, okay, yeah, no, this is clearly Violet's place. It was creepy. Speaking of a little creepy, we see Arlene having sex with Keith, the vampire. And a couple of things ran through my mind when I saw this. First, I thought, wow, Arlene is a character that I never would have thought I would see having sex with a vampire. Ever. I know it's the blood, but still. And then I started to think, wait a minute. If Arlene has Hep B, or she's a carrier of Hep B, can she have sex with Keith? I mean, I just thought that was a little weird until you see it's a dream. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then even later on, they address the fact that they can't have sex because of her disease. So there you go. Hoyt is back in town. And I was happy to see Hoyt back because I always liked Hoyt, and seeing the way that he left the show. I've seen some people comment and say that they didn't like Hoyt coming back because they thought they got that finality with his character in season 5. And I understand that, but I don't know. I think if you're going to kill his mom, you got to bring him back. I like that he was willing to come back. And I like seeing the dynamic with him and Jason now because it's still awkward for Jason. Hoyt has no idea who he is. I thought it was even more hilarious, and this might be my favorite moment of the episode, when Hoyt was going to see his mother. And Jason was behind the glass, and I thought Jason was upset for Hoyt, for what Hoyt is going through, seeing his mom dead and whatnot, until he says to himself, damn it, Stackhouse, stop looking at his girl. And I said, what? Jason is checking out Hoyt's girlfriend right now during this time? Classic Jason. I loved it. Yeah, it makes him look like an asshole and sort of a douchebag, but that's so early Jason. When we met Jason, he was a womanizer. He did sleep with every single woman. Maybe you would expect him to have some type of character progression, but I don't know. Jason being like that, I loved it. Now, there was one quick scene that I want to mention. It was when Sam went into Belfour's and talked to Arlene and was asking for advice because he's still undecided on whether he should leave with Nicole or he should stay. And I guess I understand his dilemma, and it's funny because I didn't like Nicole at all in season 6. I didn't. But I'm coming a little bit around with her in this season. Maybe it has something to do with her being kidnapped by HV vampires while pregnant. And maybe it has something to do with the fact that I agree with her that this town is fucked up. It's not a place for her to raise their child. And I kind of think this is a no-brainer for Sam. As much as I didn't want Sam to be with her at first, as much as I would have liked Sam to be with Sookie, but that's not going to happen. I think he just has to say, look, this place isn't safe for my child, for Nicole. I think he does need to just say, look, I gotta leave. But I like this moment with him and Arlene because Arlene gave him some great advice. And seeing Arlene, the way she said that basically she's not happy here, but she fakes it, she pretends to be happy, and sometimes she almost convinces herself that she's happy. Just getting a little insight into what's going on with Arlene's head, I thought was refreshing. Now, Numi, Sarah Newland, her sort of wigging out and going batshit crazy. She went back to the Fellowship of the Sun, the Light of the Day, back to their camp place, and at first she saw Jason in her head. And Jason, as goofy as he is in general, he was also very creepy in this manifestation on warning Sarah that she's going to die. And then even later on, towards the end, when she was imagining Steve Newland and the guru guy and how they were just sort of messing with her, I thought that was kind of creepy. And again, I'm the only person, I admit this, but I felt bad for Sarah Newland. I'm like, oh, I really don't want her to die. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I like Anna Camp as an actress so much. I just don't really want to see her die. And then, of course, the Japanese and Eric and Pam arrive. What are they going to do? I don't know. I don't really think they're going to kill her because I would think they need her. Maybe they don't need her alive to take her blood and use the cure. Who knows? We cut back to Violet, who this time she just attacks Adeline. Because yes, she's using Adeline to get to Jessica. Jessica quickly leaves. And that confrontation is going to be pretty awesome. I can't wait to see those two face to face and what's exactly going to happen. Violet still is a mystery to me. I I did feel bad for her because I thought it was messed up that Jason cheated on her. But she's so creepy, she's so weird, she's so calculated with what she's doing that it's almost hard for me to still feel bad for her. And I just don't want Jessica to die. Now the episode ended with Sookie running back to Bill's house in a way that I swear I've seen her run to Bill's house like that so many times. And they kiss. Not only that, they have sex. And hey, Bill's already infected with Hep B, so why not? It's a little creepy to see his body all contaminated while they're having sex. But I did think this was a nice moment of them sort of reconciling everything that they've been through. If you think about it, we haven't seen them kiss or have sex since, what, season 3? So it was interesting to see them back at this place. There's a part of me that thinks that Bill just isn't going to survive by the end of it. I think by the time either one of them find out about Sarah Newland and the cure and all of that, it's just going to be too late. And if that is the case, then that's why I don't mind them getting together for this moment, because I just don't think Bill's going to make it by the end. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below if you saw this episode of True Blood. What did you think of it? Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Later!